Welcome to the Origin Summer Preview with the Dice Tower. In this series, we look at recently released and upcoming games for summer 2014. And now, recorded live at Origins 2014, here's your host, Eric Summerer.
It's the Origins Summer Preview. I'm Eric Summerer, here with Rick from Eagle Gryphon Games, and you have a new edition of a game that I was delighted with in the original release. This is Fantastiqa, the Rucksack edition. Is that because you could shove it in your rucksack?
It is. It's a smaller version,
okay.
Hence the rucksack. And I'm glad you were delighted with it. We were too. This is a thoroughly delightful game. What makes it different? It's the rucksack edition, and the box is half the size of the prior box, and probably 3/4. I can't exactly knock Eric out with it. I can give a shot at it, but the prior box, it probably would have stunned him for 3 days, but this one is a little lighter. We did away with the board. We decided that as nice as that board might have been, we could do it with less. And so actually, here's the layout of the entire game if you want it to be this small.
You sort of formed a grid with all the cards and tokens.
It's a grid, and the board did much the same for you, but it was one more piece of cardboard that you don't have to pay for. Otherwise, those of you who know the game can see it hasn't changed. It's got 10% fewer cards, but it just means fewer duplications. It's the same cards that were in there the first time.
All right.
So other than that, all the components are totally compatible with the prior editions, which means all the expansions, and there are now 10.
10 expansions.
Count them. There are 10 expansions. They take the game in all sorts of different directions. We have a lot of information on eaglegames.net about those expansions.
Okay.
You can go there and read about them. For now, I'm just going to briefly cover
the
basic game.
Sure.
Yeah. It's a hard game to cover in 3 minutes, but we're going to try it anyway. Essentially, you are questing, trying to get quest points. That's the object of the game. And those quest points come to you from quests that you have, say, privately in your hand. I happen to have a 3, 2, or 1, and you can play to a random and variable number of points, as indicated on a card.
Short, or medium size.
Yeah, long, short, and depending on the number of players, which again ranges from 2 to 4. And if it's 4, it's a partnership game, which is particularly delightful. So the two partners cooperate with each other, and it becomes a one-on-one game, but with some partnership rules that make it quite unique. So random number of points that we're playing to. As you have your character, who is represented in my case by the Wanderer on the cover, he starts at a random spot. I have this to indicate who I am to the other players, and I have a set of cards. So there's a little bit of deck building in this, you know that. And as I move from spot to spot, I need to subdue. No killing involved in this game. So no animals were harmed in the filming thereof or the making thereof. And so I might subdue these rabbits of unusual size with a broom. Well, I just happen to have a broom
in your hands.
In my hand, so I play that on there, and I can move my adventurer to the next spot. Now, if I've moved him over the troll, I obtain a gem from the troll. And in every case, all the cards that I subdue come back into my discards and recirculate in my hand.
Indeed, and those are more powerful versions often of the cards that you start out with.
They are, and you can buy those more powerful versions also by buying creatures for gems. So here we have a satyr, and they don't come cheap. So 3 gems will get you a satyr, but that satyr gets you 2 billy goats. Now that might be very handy for a quest that involves billy goats. This one happens to require teeth. And you have to be in the right place, which happens to be the Highlands. So to solve this quest, or complete it, I need, in my hand, and I have a 5-card hand, I need 2 teeth. I don't happen to have that right now. And I need to be in the Highlands. And I can solve the quest, claim, exactly, and we're off and running. So we have the wetlands, the highlands, the forests, the fields, the hills, and the frozen wastelands. We collect gems, we subdue creatures, we build our deck.
And you race to a certain number of points.
And we're racing to a certain number of points.
Excellent.
That was less than 3 minutes.
Yeah, this is on the boat? This is on the boat that you refer to as the art boat. It has a lot of art-themed games. And also, in addition to Fantastiqa and Petite Pastiche and Cubist, which we've talked about in other videos, you also have a little bonus.
A little bonus.
That's also art-related.
It is. We're just on that kind of roar right now.
I don't know why
we're roaring through the art games. Yeah.
Is this from Sid Sackson?
This is from Sid Sackson. He actually designed this game in 1968 approximately. Oh, I'm sorry. I was so fascinated with Sam over here, I just got distracted. Sam's pretty big. He's a big distraction, but anyway.
Here, I'll hold it.
Thanks. So what we have is games of art. This was originally produced as Beyond Tic-Tac-Toe in 1971, I believe.
Okay.
Might be 75. But we've redone it with dry erase. Comes with 4 dry erase markers, and it's got 7 games in it. Every game is short in terms of rules, and every game has the pad, if you will, to play it on right next to it. So if we're going to play Vassarelli, we're going to read these rules right here with colored examples, and the Vassarelli board to play the game with as many as 4, as few as 2, is right here with the colored markers. And that's going to be true of all 7 games. This is Jean Miro, and playable by 2, 3, or 4 players, illustrated. And here's your board, and even your score tracks are included with each one. Piet Mondrian has taken on a new life since Sackson wrote this book. A lot of people now know Mondrian, who back in the late 60s and 70s really didn't. So these are all, at the time Sackson wrote the book, these were all living artists. They were all contemporary modern artists. And now I believe all are deceased, as is Sid. So this is all rather a posthumous collection of really some wonderful ideas and representational art by some pretty well-known current-day modern painters. So a total of 7 games. There's one you can play solitaire, and several others that are written for just 2 players. Others for 3 and 4. A good game in the classroom for art, teaching art.
So this is also on the art boat. It should be available very soon.
It's on that boat.
From Sid Sackson, Fantastiqa Rucksack edition. Rick, thank you. Once again from Eagle Griffin Games.
All right, thanks.
Thank you for joining us today. We hope you join us for the rest of our summer preview videos. We'd like to thank Gamma and Origins for making these videos possible. And we hope that all of you have fun gaming. See you next time.